Okay, today we are looking at entrepreneurs. In the textbook, entrepreneurs is not a whole unit in itself. Um, there are aspects around the entrepreneur content that can be applied to entrepreneurs. So that's why the page numbers are from 336 to 346 and includes other establishment of small business issues. Okay, so typically a question might ask you to consider the skills of an entrepreneur. And here you've got a whole bunch of them. And it's up to you to consider which ones you want to focus on, which ones you want to develop, and which ones you want to or can apply a case study to. I would so encourage you in this unit in particular to look at a case study in the textbook and also to possibly research case studies of your own. Um, if you're writing a response to this type of a question, you're going to struggle to write two-thirds of a page. I keep referring to that length, but thirds of a page to a page without a case study. One final thing I'll say on the case study is that you cannot just say, an example of innovation, for instance, is Branson, and then leave it at that. No, you've got to say how Richard Branson has shown innovation. It's not good enough just to drop a name. Okay, so as you can see here, then the list has innovation and identifying opportunities. That's a key skill. Leadership, motivation and passion, communication skills is obviously got to be up there. Technical skills, maybe not as much as I think if you've got people that you can source who've got technical skills, do that rather than wasting a lot of your own time trying to be an expert in everything. Marketing and research, promotional skills, risk management. I mean, when you're talking about risk management there, it would be completely okay for you to then bring in the financial concepts that we've discussed of the break-even calculation and having that as a budget. Every entrepreneur with any idea that they've got should have a break-even analysis before they go ahead. Record keeping, accounting and financial skills. Again, that's probably one that's going to be outsourced by any particular entrepreneur in my view. Admin and computer skills likewise. Vision, obviously that's an important one. Seeing opportunities that others can't. Sometimes it's not even a case of finding a complete new idea yourself. You can go to other markets around the world and get ideas and bring them back to Australia, for instance, before anybody else does. But they have a big picture in their mind, as it says there. Persistence, they don't take failure personally, they learn from their experiences, and you do need that sort of resilience if you're going to be an entrepreneur. A belief in your ideas, prepared to take action. I think that last point is a really crucial one. You can have all the thoughts in your head, all the most amazing opportunities and visions, but if you don't take action, it's a waste of time. Those are a list that you can develop. You could use your own common sense to develop some of these, but there comes a point when you have to be more specific, and therefore that's why we need some case studies. I would pick 3 or 4 of these and have 3 or 4 case studies to go with it, and then just mention some others. These dot points are a bit high up on this slide, aren't they? But anyway, people who transform their ideas into a new business are called entrepreneurs. Prepared to take a risk, we've already mentioned that. Decision making, that's the key thing. A will to succeed, resilience, flair and creativity. Setting goals, there's one that you could definitely develop with the course content that we have. And finally, they're continually adjusting to changing business, economic and customer markets. I mean, again, this is something that we establish as a principle in our finance topic, monitoring and evaluation and making adjustments in the plan where necessary. These are entrepreneur skills. Again, an entrepreneur would use financial statements, financial budgets in order to ascertain whether there should be any adjustments. Okay, find solutions and answers to problems. This is what an entrepreneur does. Find solutions and answers to problems. Okay, you've got case studies now that I'd like to have a look at in your preliminary textbook. You've got motivation there, entrepreneurship, cultural and gender, and you've got the page reference numbers there. Okay, so sources of information, 348 to 353. This is, again, it's an area that I've not seen too much in the past in terms of exam questions. And it's certainly an area where if you're going to look at this for a Section A response, you must be prepared to do a little bit of your own research with regards to Tasmanian opportunities. So, firstly, professional advisors, accountants, solicitors, bank managers, consultants, these can all be sources of information. Government agencies at any given time can supply information. At the state level, we've got the Business Enterprise Centre and Business Tasmania. At a federal level, we've got a business website plus Department of Trade, etc. And we've got a website there, digitalbusiness.gov.au. Other sources include chambers of commerce, small business associations, trade associations, and ABS, which is the Australian Bureau of Stats. So then we get to the business idea. Have a look at the Mox case study on page 354. And on 355, you've got question 5. Communication. Effective communication, it says there, in the 21st century requires an understanding of demographic and cultural differences among people, as well as differences among the platforms through which they go to share information and connect with others. The use of hard copy is still necessary for those disseminating information to older members of the community. I think that's a bit of an ageist comment. I think it depends on what kind of information it is. Will determine whether it should be a hard copy. For younger and more tech-friendly stakeholders, the 21st century communications might include social networking, blogs, internet sites and forums, visual communication messages, emails, attachments, direct marketing. Now we know one of the pluses of our current unfortunate situation is that we are going to be, over the next weeks or whatever time period it is, we're going to become, in a way, semi-experts in technological communication. We're already looking at the likes of Google Meet and other communication methods. So I suspect we can use that experience and dump it into this communication section here. Impact of social media. There's increased advertising via social media to consumers will lead to increased demand. More targeted advertising by Facebook and Google based on consumers' online digital footprint. That's a good expression that I would make a note of. A digital footprint and behavior. For example, use of Facebook likes, Google ads whilst browsing. Customer complaints and reviews are more readily provided to businesses via online review sites and forums, and more information available about new products. Consumers are more knowledgeable and sophisticated in their expectations of goods and services. That's the key, isn't it? That consumers now, via social media, they're able to acquire more and more information about a range of products. And you must have a system whereby you can cope with customer reviews and customer complaints and respond to them. Sharing, liking and retweeting increases knowledge of product. Consumers may buy as it's being recommended by a friend. More online advertising has occurred. Social media advertising is now becoming a necessity for businesses. And since Facebook has become a public company, it's been working to monetize its enormous user base. Marketers use fewer sites as more social media sites are becoming available. Database. This is really important, leading to an email list and establishing and maintaining a relationship. The key to this social media is what we're going to look at when we discuss marketing, which is there's a huge opportunity to establish a relationship. And even now, again, with our current unfortunate situation where people are social distancing, as it were, here is an opportunity. When people are desperate for relationships, for businesses to step in and to ensure that they do provide a relationship, albeit online through social media. No disadvantages, though, is a PR disasters. There's plenty of them going around. Here's some exam questions then again. Give 2 different examples of where change in social media have led to changes in demand, etc. It's got here increased advertising via social media consumers will lead to increased demand. More targeted advertising by Facebook and Google based on consumer footprint. That's what we've had on the previous slide. I'll move on. Yeah, consumers are more knowledgeable and sophisticated. I've talked about that. That's a key point. I mean, the bottom line is that Facebook have a very detailed profile of each of its customers, and this is something that they will sell, and businesses can take advantage of. Okay, that's the end of that slideshow. As you could see in that PowerPoint, there were a couple of places where you were asked to look at case studies and things like that. So I would get on with that at the moment. There you have your textbook stuff with regards to entrepreneurship, etc. I would do some of your own research. Secondly, on the sources of information with regards to what Business Tasmania or Business Enterprise Centres can offer. Look, when you get on the websites, you can have a wealth of information. It's up to you to just kick in some key examples. Business idea, you've got case studies there, etc. So enough to be getting on with in this lesson. Okay, thank you. I'll see you next time.